Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited. I want to show you what we just built for our rabbits. So let's check it out. Alright, so we built a rabbit hutch from scratch for our colony rabbits. Why colony rabbits? That's probably going to be topic of another video. But in this video, I just want to show you what we built, why we built it the way we did, and some of the features, some of the pros and cons maybe that, especially the cons that we might do differently in a future rabbit home. But one of the things we wanted to build was an enclosure that our rabbits could live in the most natural way possible. Meaning we wanted to allow them to dig holes, to make underground tunnels, to burrow basically, as they would do in nature as well. And so what we did is we basically, as a 12 by 8 section, basically we dug down 3 feet, put mesh wire on the bottom so they cannot dig out of the entire enclosure, and then fill it back up with dirt, build a frame foundation, and then just, put up the walls and everything and the roof. We wanted to keep it as simple as possible, but functional. And so we kept it open all the way around for proper airflow and ventilation. It gets fairly hot here in summer, even though, to be quite honest, if they go underground, the temperature underground is always the same. So that's one of the ways they can escape from the heat or from the cold for that matter. But we wanted to make it as open as possible. We wanted to make it tall enough so we can walk in and walk around freely without bumping heads or being, feeling like we are squeezed in anywhere. We wanted to make sure we have enough space. We right now have 1 buck and 2 does and 2 kids actually running around underground. They are very shy still. And so we wanted to make sure we have enough room for both those with their kids until they are ready to be moved out in a separate tractor before it's time to go to freezer camp. So the other thing what we decided to do is we wanted to give them a little bit of a platform to create more horizontal space. So a little bit more floor space basically. If they have a second level and we put all the feed and stuff up there so it's out of the dirt and so they can poop downstairs and eat upstairs basically. Keep it a little bit more sanitary. We put in some other things for them to run around, to hide, to hop over, to dig through. Basically to make it a little bit more fun for the rabbits. We also dug in some nesting boxes because we thought, or we hoped at least, that by creating nesting boxes for them, it would be easy for us to see the nests and the little babies once they are born. But of course, the rabbits decided to build their own nesting boxes underground and completely ignore our carefully placed buckets. That's fine. So at one point we might remove them because they're not being used. But that's pretty much in a nutshell what we did. The one thing the other requirement that we had is to automate as much as possible to keep maintenance on our end to a minimum. And that means provide them with enough feed so they're covered and provide them with enough water so we don't have to replace water every day. And so we kind of borrowed the idea that we already implemented with our chickens. We have a rain barrel. We actually collect runoff from the roof, and it all tunnels into our rain barrel. We have a filtration system so that the water they drink is fresh and doesn't have any contaminants. And we have 2 water sources inside. One are nipples on the one side, and then we have a simple bowl with a swimmer with a floaty that automatically fills back up as the water drops as they drink. It keeps it always filled up. We were hoping that they would use the nipples more. They don't really care about those. They use the bowl all the time. Even the babies now do, which is a bummer because in the tractor that is next door, where we're gonna grow them out before butchering, we only have nipples. So we have to kind of get them used to that. The other thing we did, and that was really after the fact, once we've built everything and once we've noticed and saw how everything would be going, is to cover some of the sides just based on where we saw the rain come in, to make sure that the inside, especially where the feed is and the hay is, remains dry. So we covered that up without necessarily preventing proper airflow. So that's what we did after the fact. And we also started adding some more and finer mesh wire around the openings because we noticed as they started digging around the perimeter, some of the mesh wire or the mesh wire we used for the bottom was actually, I think it was a 2 by 3 or so, and the babies would fit through. And so we actually started seeing like tunnel entrances on the side, and so we decided we're gonna cover this with a finer mesh wire to make sure that nobody comes out. They're not gonna dig through the wider mesh wire on the bottom, but if there is an opening, and right next to a tunnel, we're gonna show you that then in a B-roll, they can actually get through, the babies at least. And so to avoid that, we added some extra mesh wire and covered some of the holes that we found around the perimeter. We put some cinder blocks and and stones and everything around to make sure everything is solid and they cannot get out, chew themselves out basically. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was fairly simple to build. It's certainly not the perfect build, not the most sophisticated build, but it's functional, it's sturdy, it's solid, and it works really well, and the rabbits seem to be liking it. Oh, there. And if you can see, there is actually one of the babies coming out right now. They are super shy still. Anytime we approach, they go back into the tunnels. That's maybe one of the downsides of raising rabbits in a colony and allow them to dig, because you don't know what's going on underground. But that's fine. But if you like this video, if you like our rabbit housing, if you want to have any more information of exactly how we build it, what materials we use, it's fairly straightforward, mostly 2x4s, some metal roofing and mesh wire. That's pretty much it. It was fairly inexpensive to build, didn't take a lot of time. It was my first carpentry project ever. I had never used a miter saw or a table saw before, so this was the first one. Didn't come out perfect. There are some, like little issues if you look closely, but it works, functional, it's sturdy. And the rabbits seem to be liking it very much. And with that, we're gonna wrap it up. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, let us know in the comments what you could have done better. Until next time.